Helo, diolch yn fawr iawn I chi am ymuno gyda ni y bore yma. Thank you so much for joining us this morning for what I think is a seminal moment in the history of transportation in Wales. Make no mistake, this is a significant announcement and sets out the long-term vision for investment in Welsh railways. This is a generational commitment to a £14 billion package of investment over 15 years. That is transformational. It's transformational for the people who live in our communities. It's transformational for connecting communities. It's transformational for the economy, for the opportunities in terms of housing, and generally in terms of how we transform our communities here in Wales. And we know this because we're already doing it. The Welsh Labour government here has led the way, and you can see the evidence of that just here today. We've invested £1 billion in transforming the Valleys railways, £800 million on new trains all over South Wales, which are really making a difference. The punctuality is amongst the best in the UK. We see a 10% increase every year in the number of people using these trains. And I want to thank you all for all the work that you've done to make this possible. Because this is also about jobs. This is also about your livelihoods and making sure that you are representatives of your communities and people who have a stake in this system. This announcement today follows on from the spending commitment we had in the spending review. So we had about £500 million there to start on this journey. But I always said, didn't I, Keir, that was just the beginning. And what we've got today is the next chapter in the history of rail development in Wales. So I want to thank the Prime Minister for his personal support for this project, for his personal drive of making sure that this investment is understood. It's understood that we were shortchanged for a long, long time under previous governments. Wales is now going to get its fair share of investment, and about time too. So diolch yn fawr iawn I chi, Keir, for that. So we've got a lot of work to do. Are you all up for it? Great. Well, thank you very much. And can I invite Keir and thank him? Can you all help me thank him for this £14 billion of investment? Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Can I start by just thanking all of you for showing us around this morning. It's been really fantastic to come here, to see what you do, understand what you do, and see the pride that you have in the work that you do. And I'm a big supporter of the work that goes on here. It is fantastic to see that just in a few years you've put this together, that these metro trains that are serviced here, we learned all about putting the wheels on and off on a regular basis and when it's an emergency situation. But not only is that serving the people who always needed to use it, but it's going up 10% and 10%, showing that more and more people, when they get the chance to use that transport, are using it. Thank you especially to the apprentices here that I spoke to earlier this morning for sharing with me your stories about why you want to do engineering, why you want to do project management, and all the different things that you're doing. So thank you all for making us feel so welcome. There is no substitute to being here with you. And as the First Minister has just said, this is a really historic day. This is an incredible vision. Transport for Wales setting out generational change, comprehensive change, absolutely supported and endorsed by a Labour government in Westminster. And that's the power of two Labour governments working together. This project has been long in the making. Today we are delivering it, as I say, endorsed and supported. And I'm really pleased to do that as a government. I'm really pleased to do it as an individual, because I know who I'm fighting for. I'm fighting for all the people that need decent transport to get to work, to get to school, to get to education, to see their friends, their relatives, their family, to go to hospitals and the like. All of those people are the people we're fighting for. So yes, this is about rolling stock. Yes, it's about where the lines will be. But it's absolutely about the people all across Wales who will now have the opportunity of decent transport that they haven't had for so long. And what a change that is, because here's a comprehensive plan for the whole of Wales that is going to be delivered. And in the past, under the last government, what we had? We had announcements that were made and then unmade. We had the electrification from Cardiff to Swansea. Good idea by the last government, and then they cancelled it. This is about delivering differently, delivering on a comprehensive package. And if you want to see how comprehensive it is, there is a brochure that sets all this out. Go to page 18 and you'll see a map of Wales, and it shows you exactly where all the connections are going to be. So this is a fantastic opportunity, a fantastic investment. It is a big investment. It's an investment in transport, but it's an investment in people as well, because we must have in our mind's eye all the people that will want and deserve decent transport, because transport is a great enabler. There's so much you can do with transport in terms of building the economy, making sure people are better off. But these big decisions can only be made if you've got a government that has stabilised the economy. And that's why stabilising the economy has been our number one concern as a Labour government. And we've got real evidence now that the plan is working. So interest rates have come down 6 times. That means that mortgages are coming down. And for all of you who are on a mortgage, you know what a big outgoing that is, month on month. So interest rates coming down, huge help to individuals, to families, to all people who've got a mortgage, big help to businesses as well. And you may have seen this morning that inflation has come down again, now to 3%, and it's scheduled to come down further. That will affect all of you, because that's not just a statistic, that is how much it costs to do things. When you're in the supermarket, when you're filling up with petrol, all of these things are affected by inflation. And as we're bringing it down, it eases the burden on people, because I'm deeply, deeply conscious that wherever you go in Wales, if you ask people what's your number one concern, they will almost certainly say the cost of living. Making ends meet, making sure I've got enough money month on month to pay my bills and do some of the things I want to do with my life, with my family. And we are doing everything we can to alleviate that pressure, pulling as many levers as we can. Inflation's a big one, because if you get inflation down, it means that those prices are controlled and the bills that people worry about are reduced in terms of their impact. So it's really important that we've stabilised the economy. It's really important that we focus on what else we can do on the cost of living. And for everybody here and across Wales on the national living wage, minimum wage, that's going up again in April. This is good news, because it's more money, as it were, in the front pocket that people can use. For pensioners, pensions are going up again, and we're taking £150 off everybody's energy bill, because I'm deeply conscious that in households, in addition to the shop in the supermarket, the weekly shop, the food shop, it's energy prices that are often cited as a real cause for concern. So being able to take money off energy prices is hugely important as well. So that's our focus. This is a really important day, historic day. And, you know, for all of you working here, it's great as well, because it gives you clarity about the need for your work and more people doing your work. For the supply chains as well, it gives great certainty. They can start investing, and therefore it really helps the economy, one, within the sector of transport, because all of that work will now be needed. Secondly, because transport absolutely facilitates the wider economy. The more people can move around easily, the more they can do business and get to places, and that drives the economy. So a really important day today, but the most important thing for me, for the First Minister, and for you for a moment, is just to focus on the people that we're fighting for, the people that will now have what they're entitled to. So thank you very much for listening to me. I think we're now going to take some questions. So, Eleanor, do you want to come back up? Sorry, we've got people behind me. I didn't mean to put my back to you. We've got some questions, I think, from... do you want to put your hands up? Anybody who's got a question? Yes, madam.
Thank you. Hi. I just wanted to ask, how will this drive growth across the UK, and why is that important?
Well, economic growth is the most important thing. It sounds a bit dry, but it's about making everybody better off, because economic growth means we're creating more wealth. The more wealth we create as a country across the United Kingdom, the more money there is in the system. The more money there is in the system, the more we can then use it on projects like this. So it's really important we get that economic growth. I think the two ways I'd say this really drives growth is, firstly, within the sector here in Wales. So anybody working in transport and all the supply chains going into it. So it won't just be transport. You will know from what you do here that there's a lot that feeds in that is not badged necessarily as transport, but is vital to what you're doing. All of that sector will now thrive as this plan is rolled out. That is really good. And the certainty for supply chains, by the way, is a really important point, because once supply chains know, right, there's really good work here for years to come, they will put their money into it in a way that they don't if they think it's uncertain. I think more broadly in relation to your question, I'd say that transport absolutely drives economic growth, because you know, for people, business to business, place to place, skills, people going off training, business is absolutely enabled by better transport. So that's what I'd say. I don't know, anything you would say? Obviously, in Wales, this is a really important initiative in both respects. Yeah,
so 15 years ago, when I wasn't in politics, I spoke to business people in Cardiff and said, what do you need? And they said, we need the South Wales Metro. We've got these super talented people up in the valleys who can't get to jobs. Yep. And that's when the Welsh Government set out a vision 15 years ago. And here's the realisation of that vision today. And people now can get into Cardiff from those valleys communities. They need quality jobs, and that's what can be provided. Yeah. But also you can create jobs in the valleys. So that connection is absolutely critical. And it's about jobs, it's about quality of life, it's about standards. And also, you know, 20% of the people in Wales are disabled. They can get on these trains, but what we want now is to make sure that we look to the future. We had that vision 15 years ago. When the Welsh Government took control, we delivered it. What we now need, what we haven't had for 15 years under a previous government, is that vision from them for where they are responsible. Yeah. And now we have the Labour government in Westminster setting out that vision for the long term. And you've got to hold with these things. This is not stuff you can switch on and off. You've got to stick with it, which is why stable government is crucial.
Yeah, this is so important. And the 10% year-on-year increase in the number of people using the Metro is really significant, because that means that not just the demand that you were told about at the time, but there's more demand. As people feel this is something that works for me, they're making more use of it. And that'll happen across all the projects that we're announcing today. More and more people. When it's reliable, when it's there, guess what? It gets used and it transforms lives. So it's not just one 10% increase, it's 10% year on year. Let's go to another question. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Prime Minister. Is this a vote of confidence in TFW, and are you committed to delivering all the schemes?
We're absolutely committed to delivering on the schemes, and yes, it is about confidence in Transport for Wales. And thank you to the people here in front of us who have worked on this plan, because I know that some of you have been working on it for some considerable time. It is a really good plan, and some of the questions that have come already are along the lines of, is this in it, is that in it? And the answer pretty much is, it's all in it. This is a totally comprehensive plan. So this is a massive vote of confidence in Transport for Wales. It is a massive confidence boost in the plan itself. And no better way to evidence that than for me to come here to you and to be here, which is what I wanted to do it here in this depot, and say that we, the government in Westminster, are backing it, absolutely supporting it, endorsing it, and being really clear that what that means is it'll be delivered. And that's a really, really important message. So if you take nothing away from today, that's the message.
Can I give a shout out to everyone who's really helped to build this? So I know Ken hasn't stopped working on this. He gets positively boring about it, if I'm honest. But he is absolutely passionate about this vision.
Thank you, Ken.
And I'd like to thank Ken, who's our Transport Secretary in the Welsh Government, for his leadership, but also to James and to Vernon and the rest of the team and the Welsh Government, and also to the Transport Secretary of the UK Government, who I know has been with us on every step of this journey, and also to the Secretary of State for Wales, who I know has fought and fought and fought for this. So diolch yn fawr iawn to all of you.
But thank you all as well, because being able to showcase what you're doing is itself a vote of confidence. And being able to come and see it and talk to you and see what you're doing is a vote of confidence. And these things build on each other, but being able to come here, stand in front of these fantastic trains to talk about the increased number of people using them and what you do here in this depot, that is all evidence that builds the case for this plan. So thank you to all of you as well. I'm really proud of what you do. I was really pleased to hear what you do. You should be really proud of yourselves because I think a lot of people would love to come here actually and just wander around and see what you do. They'd be fascinated, they'd be impressed. And so I hope you're proud of yourselves because I'm very proud of you. Let's take another question. Hand up. Yes, sir?
Good morning. GBR is nationalising more rail. We've already done that in Wales. What can they learn from us?
Well, it's really interesting that we're working together in this way because you did it a number of years ago now, and we're doing the same thing. As each franchise comes to an end, we will take back our railways into public ownership. And that's the right thing to do because I don't think anybody would look at privatisation across the UK and say that's been a success. There's been not a good enough service, too expensive, not connected in the right places. By having something under public control, you can actually have a lot more influence on where is the transport, where's it going, who's it serving, what are the standards that we expect, instead of the fragmented approach that we've had. So I'm really pleased that Wales has done this. We're doing that. It shows a like-mindedness and a working together. And I can't overestimate how important it is to have two governments working together. I think many people will feel that for 14 long years, between 2010 and 2024, there was a government in Westminster which wasn't necessarily wanting to work with the Welsh government here. So you had a tension, looking for points of difference. Whereas now, we're constantly talking about how we deliver together. And that is really important for everybody in Wales. And it's the right way to do politics. Politics is about policies. Of course it is. But it's also about who do you have in your mind's eye? Who are you fighting for? Who are you thinking about who's going to be on this transport? And how are we working and fighting to improve their lives?
I think the other thing to note in relation to these trains is that there is a comprehensive plan now for the whole of Wales. But there will be places that are not covered by rail. And that's where Transport for Wales' broader vision for integrating with bus routes is absolutely critical. And we've just legislated in Wales, we brought a new law in to say, right, we are able to direct that in a way that we haven't been able to since Thatcher's day. So now we can control some of that. We'll get the buses to link in with the trains, and lots of people use buses in Wales. What an opportunity for us to make sure that everything is connected, and Transport for Wales, that is fundamental to the vision. And it's something we can do in Wales that may be difficult to do elsewhere. It's because we're small, we all know each other, let's face it, and is an opportunity for us to work together. But this is for the whole of Wales. This is not about the valleys. This is not about South Wales. There is massive developments planned for the whole of Wales, including rural areas.
Yeah, and I mean, the point about integrated is so important because there's nothing worse than a system that sort of works in part, and then when you get to the destination, there isn't an integration of the bus or whatever it may be, or buses in their own right. Many people rely on buses, And so it's really important that that work is being done on buses as well. Let's take one last question. Anybody want to put their hand up? Yes.
Hello. So my question was actually about whether you think bus investment is just as important as rail investment.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And, you know, 70 million people use our buses every year. That's huge. And we need to make sure that when we do this franchising, there's a vision for what is good for the public. What works for the public, not for profit. And that's been the problem up until now, is people have been picking off the profitable bus routes, and then others have been left with no service. So we are very keen to make sure, and we've been clear, if we are re-elected in May, we will put a cap on bus fares as well, £2. In Wales, over 60s get free transport on buses. I don't think that happens in England, does it? No, not yet.
Heidi's taking notes.
And of course now we have £1 bus fares for under 21-year-olds. But we're saying after May, we will be introducing a new system where there's be a £2 bus cap in future if we're re-elected. So that makes a huge difference as well. That's our offer, and 100 new bus routes will be introduced, which will be developed with the local communities.
That is such an important point because we've seen, certainly in parts of England, where buses are privatised, that it's the routes that make a lot of money that have a lot of buses on, and then other communities don't have a bus service that they can rely on. And getting that right is hugely, hugely important. So the bit about the routes is really, really important. Thank you all very much. I think we're going to come and talk to you more privately now, but thank you for your time. Thank you for showing us around. Thank you for making us feel welcome, and thank you for what you do.
Yeah.